Ways to solve algebraic equation. I'm Anil Kumar and I have an algebraic equation here which we'll try to see how to solve. Now it's exactly the same equation. Minus x minus 5 divided by 3 equals to 1 minus x minus 5 divided by 3 equals to 1. The idea of writing it twice is to adopt two different methods to solve the same equation. Well, in method 1, what we will do is we'll just multiply by the denominator, both sides, right? To get rid of denominator, that is the first step. So if you multiply by denominator, which is 3, we get minus of, let me write like this, x minus 5 over 3 times 3 equals to 1 times 3. Now that gives us, it's better to write minus outside. Think like this, that this minus is with the whole thing. Do you see that? That is how it can be seen as, right? So this minus is kind of applied to the whole fraction given here. That is why we written minus in this fashion. So minus this and multiplied by 3 to get rid of fraction. So this 3 and 3 cancel out. We are left with minus of x minus 5 equals to 3. Now what you can do is you can divide by minus 1. If you divide by or multiply by minus 1, you get x minus 5 equals to minus 3. Do you see that? And then we can add 5 both sides. So if I add 5 both sides, I will get x is equals to minus 3 plus 5 is plus 2. X equals to 2. So that is one way of solving this equation. Now let's solve this equation in a different way. Now this time what we will do is, we will assume that this sign is with negative. Negative sign is with 3 itself in the denominator. Now in that case what we can do is, we have the question like this, minus x minus 5 over 3, right? If we multiply this by negative 3 both sides, what do we get? Now if I multiply by negative 3, right, this is one full fraction. Think as if 3 divided by 3 is 1 and negative times negative is positive. Do you see that? So what we did here, we combined these two steps together. Do you see that? So negative times negative is positive. So you're left with x minus 5 equals to negative 3. Now you can add 5 both sides. You get x minus 5 plus 5 equals to negative 3 plus 5, or x is equals to plus 2. So I hope this seems to be a simpler solution and probably the one which you will adopt, right? So that's a good strategy. If there is a negative sign here, we can multiply by minus 3 both sides, right? So there are a couple of ways to do this. An alternate way could be first multiply by the negative itself. So you get negative 1. Let's do that also. So what I'll do is I'll show you the third method, right? Which is, this time I will multiply by negative number on both sides. If I multiply by the negative number, I'll get x minus 5 over 3 equals to minus 1. Do you see that? And then we can multiply by 3. So we get x minus 5 equals to minus 3. So we get the same equation, right? And from here we know x is equals to 2, right? So we get x is equals to 2, same way. So that is an alternate step. So as you can see, we have 3 different methods of solving this kind of equation. You can follow any method you want, right? This seems to be much simpler. Just multiply by minus number so that you get rid of this minus thing, and then multiply by 3, and then you solve your equation the way you do, right? There's a couple of methods which you've learned. Adopt those to solve. I hope that makes things simpler and easier for you to understand. Thank you and all the best.